Across the vast African plains, there are no eternal victors. Here, empires rise and crumble in the blink of an eye. Every day tests life to its absolute limit. There is no mercy. No place to hide. Only one immutable law governs all creatures. Absolute adaptation or extinction. Welcome to the ultimate battle. Beneath the scorching sun of the Savanna, where golden grass stretches to the horizon, a silent, methodical ambush is taking shape. Shadows slip through the vegetation, clinging to the earth like invisible winds. A pride of lionesses is on the prowl. Their gaze is locked on a herd of zebras grazing peacefully nearby. To them, the zebra is a familiar quarry. A young foal strays from the herd slower, smaller, breaking the safety of the ranks. In the eyes of the lionesses, it appears the perfect victim, the most energy-efficient choice. She did not anticipate that a prey animal could react with such calculated ferocity. When prey faces its predator, survival is not determined merely by strength or speed, but by three pillars of behavior: instinct, reflex, and adaptive learning. Instinct, or more precisely, innate behavior, is a sequence of actions encoded within the genes. It requires neither teaching nor practice. When a zebra kicks to clear a path for escape, the strike is not random. It is an innate motor pattern. These instinctive behaviors are rigid, holding little flexibility, yet they serve a singular purpose: survival at any cost. Reflexes, on the other hand, are immediate, short responses controlled by a neural arc, bypassing the cerebral cortex almost entirely. It is the simplest form of behavior, yet devastatingly effective. Anatomically, the zebra possesses an incredibly developed musculoskeletal structure around the hips. The structure of the hoof, hard as stone, with a small surface area but high density, acts like a focused hammer. This kick is not merely defensive. With enough force to shatter a lion's jaw, it is a counterattack that can turn a hunt into a slow death sentence for the aggressor. Studies of the genus Equus estimate the force of a mature zebra's rear kick at nearly 2,000 pounds, force enough to fracture bone. But the kick is not just a mechanical movement. It is the result of an instinct honed by evolution. While the zebra's kick is a quick reaction to escape, the giraffe's strike is a weapon of destruction. With their superior height, giraffes serve as the living watchtowers of the savanna. Yet, their most formidable weaponry lies in their legs. A single kick, whether forward or backward, can generate a force of nearly 2,000 pounds, sufficient to crush a skull or shatter a lion's spine. For this reason, even apex predators are wary of confronting a fully grown adult. Amidst the cauldron of the plains, the cheetah embodies nature's perfect speed machine. Absolute camouflage allows this phantom to dissolve completely into the scorched grass. Every muscle fiber explodes, transforming the body into an arrow piercing the wind, reaching 60 miles per hour in a heartbeat. Semi-retractable claws grip the earth, while the long tail acts as a rudder for deadly turns. The pursuit concludes with a strangulating bite of 500 psi, extinguishing the prey's life. But speed demands a brutal price. Overheating pushes the cat to the brink of exhaustion. In those gasping moments, the master assassin becomes more fragile than ever. Hyenas wait in the wings, ready to seize the spoils from the one who has spent its strength. Though bloody, these purges are the key to balancing the ecosystem. Now, every sprint is also a breathless race for survival against a changing climate. From a distance, a herd of impala approaches to drink. But beneath the surface, a Nile crocodile strikes with the violence of a lightning bolt. The impala is trapped at the water's edge. It struggles to escape, to flee. But perhaps today, fortune does not smile upon it. It has become fuel for the crocodile. With its stealth, few animals escape the leopard's grasp. However, one prey forces it to retreat and even fail in humiliating fashion: the porcupine. The Cape porcupine is Africa's largest rodent, weighing between 22 and 66 pounds. Its primary weapon is a suit of quill armor, a true masterpiece of evolution. Its body is covered in thousands of keratin spikes, ranging from 8 to over 14 inches in length. When threatened, the porcupine erects these quills, rattling them together to create a dry, metallic sound, a clear and direct warning. Despite its lumbering gait, it is a true master of defense in the wild. When menaced, it does not flee, but turns, presenting a wall of spines. Its main natural predator is the leopard, a solitary hunter renowned for patience and intelligence. Ultimately, the leopard is left to pull out the quills one by one, in frustration and pain. There are many records of lions and leopards dying days later from infections caused by these quill wounds. In the natural world, survival depends not just on physical strength, but on a strategic combination of genetic instinct, neural reflexes, and learned behavior. The Cape buffalo is the supreme master of the art of collective defense. A mature individual can weigh from 1,100 to nearly 2,000 pounds. Their most dangerous weapon is their pair of curved horns. And in the males, the base of the horns fuses into a thick bone structure called the boss, a veritable shield across the forehead. The aggression of the Cape buffalo is not blind rage, but the result of millions of years of evolution under pressure from apex predators. With the bony boss protecting its skull, it stands not only as a physical defense, but as a symbol of an indomitable will, a species that has never accepted domestication by man. It fears neither man nor lion, and above all, it never surrenders. When buffalo advance together, they are like a marching army, powerful, united, and ready to fight to the end. When sensing danger, a buffalo does not run into the bush, but retreats toward its herd. In seconds, the roles are reversed. The herd becomes an impenetrable defensive wall. If the buffalo is a regimented army, the black rhinoceros is a volatile loner. Weighing up to 3,000 pounds, it is the embodiment of raw power and unyielding will in the broad daylight. Unlike others that succumb to lethargy in the heat, this solitary figure maintains a state of high alert. Its most terrifying weapon, the keratin horn, reflects the sun like a threatening blade. Though poor eyesight blurs the sunlit world, it masters its space with an acute sense of smell. A passing breeze carrying a strange scent from the horizon is enough to awaken its aggressive instincts. It charges through the dust, transforming its massive bulk into a steel projectile moving at 34 miles per hour. The harsh sunlight highlights its thick gray skin, an armor-plated masterpiece of evolutionary history. Yet, even in the light of day, its pride cannot hide its fragility in the face of relentless poaching. Every step the black rhino takes under the vast sky is a reminder of the resilience of a fading legacy. Another animal demonstrating impressive collective strength is the chacma baboon, the largest baboon in Africa. They live in troops numbering up to hundreds of individuals. The social structure is clearly defined, with powerful males positioned at the front and rear of the group during movements. Females and infants are protected in the center, as if within a living fortress. They are omnivores, and their primary natural enemy is the leopard. But this time, the baboon is vigilant. A dominant male lifts his head. He senses something. A small sign is enough to trigger the collective alarm system. Instantly, a loud, sharp bark cuts through the air. It is the specific alarm call for a leopard. The predator has taken barely a step before the troop has reorganized. The largest males advance, standing tall, hair bristling, screaming their defiance. The baboon's victory lies not in killing the enemy, but in stopping the attack before it begins. Wild Africa. There is no mercy. The pride of lionesses tightens the noose. The target, Cape buffalo. Red alert. Fear transforms into fury. Amidst the choking dust, the herd's tactics fracture. The hunter becomes the hunted. Yet, raw muscle still bows to the power of the multitude. In the animal kingdom, maternal instinct is not merely an emotion. It is an evolutionary adaptation to ensure the continuity of life. When a female gives birth on the savanna, no one needs to teach her what to do. Instinctively, she licks the amniotic membrane from her calf to stimulate its first breath. According to Professor Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy, a leading evolutionary anthropologist, the level of maternal investment is intimately linked to the chances of survival. For the African elephant, a species with one of the most complex social structures in the animal kingdom, motherhood extends far beyond nursing or protection. A matriarch teaches her calf how to navigate, how to find water during the dry season, and even how to mourn the death of a herd member. If they lose their mother too soon, young elephants tend to become aggressive or socially disoriented. Biologically, the hormone oxytocin, known as the love hormone, plays a crucial role in activating maternal behavior in mammals. But it is not only the giants who are fierce and formidable. The honey badger, though not a large animal, commands respect. Its size does not reflect its danger. Its compact body is like a block of steel wrapped in fur. Their backs are covered by a mantle of grey-white fur stretching from head to tail, a bold warning to even the most reckless predators. Its skin is an ultimate defensive weapon, thick, tough, and incredibly loose. If seized by an enemy, the honey badger can twist within its own skin to counterattack. To be caught does not mean to be defeated. That is when it becomes most dangerous. The diet of the honey badger is extraordinarily diverse. It is a true opportunistic omnivore. A leopard stalks a honey badger cub. The mother advances without hesitation. The chase begins, and the leopard is forced to flee, scrambling up a tall tree to escape. But the savanna is not merely a place of muscle blocks or sharp spines. Amidst the shrinking wetlands, an embodiment of elegance appears as a mesmerizing paradox: the gray-crowned crane. With their brilliant golden crowns and piercing blue eyes, they are the monarchs of the marsh, living symbols of fidelity and perseverance. Unlike the ferocity of the honey badger, the crane chooses a defensive tactic that is artistic yet decisive to protect its precious eggs. When a predator approaches stealthily, the pair does not retreat. They begin a dance of defiance. Wings spreading 6 feet wide, they leap and emit calls that echo across the plains. A combination of balletic beauty and intense survival instinct. However, the biological justice nature has bestowed upon them faces an unprecedented trial. The marshes that were once safe fortresses for their young are now merely cracked mud flats under the baking sun. Their dance, once a ritual of fertility, now sometimes resembles a silent plea amidst the hot winds. In a world where 70% of dry forests and wetlands have been ecologically altered, the existence of the crowned crane is a sharp reminder of beauty's fragility. Every successfully hatched egg is a small victory against the cruel cycle of drought besieging the savanna. Their lives depend not only on genetic instinct, but on whether humanity hears the call from the last wetlands in time. But in another corner of the African plains, a different scene unfolds. The spotted hyena is one of the most brutal and efficient predators of the savanna. They are low-slung, weighing between 100 and 180 pounds. But their bite can exert over 1,100 pounds of force, capable of crushing the femur of a mature buffalo. The spotted hyena is an incredibly intelligent omnivore. A clan may number up to 80 individuals, led by a matriarch. In the hunt, they organize into formations, surrounding the prey and taking turns in pursuit until the victim is exhausted. With a sense of smell 40 times more sensitive than a human's, they can detect a carcass from over 2.5 miles away. In nature, strength does not always dictate the outcome. Survival instincts, the capacity to learn, anatomical structure, and even maternal drives play their part. That is the only biological justice nature grants. And sometimes that is precisely what makes the wild so resplendent and astonishing. As the last shadows of the hyena clan retreat, other silhouettes begin to emerge on the scorched plains. Now, only scraps remain on the table, but in the natural world, no source of energy is ever wasted. From dizzying heights, the sharpest eyes on the Savanna have swung into action. Guided by keen senses that can pinpoint death from miles away, vultures descend like blades slicing through the sky. They are not merely scavengers, but the embodiment of a grim biological justice. In an ecosystem where temperatures have risen by 1.5 degrees Celsius over the last half-century, every remaining scrap of bone becomes a priceless treasure. The scramble takes place in calculated chaos. Hisses and the dry beat of wings echo amidst withered vegetation, signaling a severe drought tightening its grip on all life. This is not just consumption. It is a natural defense mechanism preventing the spread of pathogens across the plains. Under the harsh sun, the flock performs its duty with extreme resilience, a testament to millions of years of learning and survival instinct. Their presence reminds us that the Savanna is a stage for ceaseless struggle. When the feast concludes, only bleached white bones remain under the sun, marking the completion of a process that restores balance. Every small act of resistance, every morsel consumed, is a silent cry that nature needs to be heard and protected. Life, as it always does, will bloom again from this very ending. In the harsh world of the African savanna, survival has never been just about strength. It is a ceaseless test of adaptation. Yet today, even the most fierce survival responses are becoming more fragile than ever. The African plains were once a vibrant stage for the eternal contest between predator and prey. Recent reports from organizations such as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, warn that average temperatures in the Sahel and sub-Saharan regions have risen by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius in the last 50 years. This is pushing the savanna into a cycle of severe and erratic droughts, making water and food increasingly scarce. Climatic shifts are also disrupting natural migration cycles. Annually, more than 1.5 million wildebeest traverse hundreds of miles. Furthermore, forest loss due to logging, agriculture, and mining is drastically reducing living space. In 3 decades, more than 70% of the dry forests in eastern and southern Africa have shrunk or had their ecological functions altered. This forces species like elephants, giraffes, and zebras closer to human settlements, increasing conflict But this also means we do not have much time left. The disappearance of the savanna is not just the loss of a territory. Under the scorching sun of the plains, every act of resistance is now a silent but powerful plea that nature must be listened to. But amidst the hot winds and withered vegetation, there are those quietly rebuilding the lost balance through awareness and community. One of the most powerful solutions today is the establishment of ecological corridors connecting isolated reserves into a continuous network. The Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, CASA project, is a prime example, the largest transboundary conservation area in the world. CASA represents a long-term strategy to face climate change, expanding survival corridors for wildlife. In Botswana, the government and international organizations have invested over $120 million in restoring the Okavango Delta. At the community level, the community-based natural resource management model in Namibia has proven effective. Advanced technologies, such as satellite imagery and artificial intelligence, are being used by leading conservation organizations to create real-time maps of drought-stricken areas. True hope lies not in miracles, but in specific actions. When nature is heard, the prey will once again have a fighting chance. The savanna will be reborn, and life, as it always does, will continue. Beneath the vast skies of southern Florida, a silent battle for survival unfolds each day. The blue eyes of a Florida panther track a white-tailed deer. The big cat glides among the mangrove trees like a stealthy phantom, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush its prey. Each step it takes is also a step against the encroachment of urbanization, as today only just over 100 individuals remain in the wild. In the brackish waters, an American alligator moves in silence, but the currents are no longer what they were. Rising sea levels have devastated the areas where they once bred. The Everglades, a land that gives life to an extraordinary biodiversity, is also a battlefield where precious creatures face the most brutal changes of the natural world. Woven with the ancient stories of nature, the Everglades is a place where every creature from the American alligator to the West Indian manatee exists in a slow but vibrant dance. Everglades National Park is one of the most unique ecosystems in the world. Established in 1947, this park protects over 2,300 square miles of land. The Everglades is the largest tropical wilderness in the United States and also the largest wilderness of any kind east of the Mississippi River. Overcoming all challenges, the park was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. Its waters, like the arteries of the earth, were recognized by the Ramsar Convention as a wetland of international importance in 1987. The journey of the Everglades begins with an ancient geological story. It is a vast land lying on a bed of Miami limestone formed millions of years ago during the Pleistocene. Tiny marine organisms, corals, shells and plankton died and left behind their sediments like silent pieces, building the skeleton of this land. Unlike most national parks that protect geographic formations, Everglades National Park was created with a single mission: to preserve a fragile ecosystem. It is the most significant breeding ground for tropical wading birds in North America and contains the largest mangrove ecosystem in the Western Hemisphere. The park is home to 36 threatened or protected species, including the Florida panther, the American crocodile, and the West Indian manatee. The Everglades is also a haven for more than 350 species of birds, 300 species of fish, 40 species of mammals, and 50 species of reptiles. The freshwater sloughs and marl prairies, 2 of the 9 recognized ecosystems in the Everglades, silently weave their own rhythm of life. It all begins with the slow but constant movement of water, the essential element that shapes the identity of this land. In the freshwater sloughs, water flows gently from Lake Okeechobee southward at a rate of only a quarter of a mile per day. From a distance, these waters may seem still, but they are, in fact, essential arteries that sustain the aquatic ecosystem, nurturing majestic plants like sawgrass, which can grow up to 6 feet tall. Conversely, the marl prairies tell a different story. These grasslands are seasonally flooded. Water seeps through the marl, creating a thin layer of water that lasts only a few months of the year. When the water recedes, periphyton, a mixture of algae and plankton clinging to the limestone, emerges and transforms into a grey sludge, a silent symbol of the approaching dry season. Both of these ecosystems are not just habitats. They also function as true natural reservoirs. They store water during the rainy season and release it gradually during the dry season. Thanks to this, the Everglades maintains its sweet flow and resists saltwater intrusion from the nearby ocean. Each slough, each prairie is an indispensable piece of the puzzle sustaining the lives of countless species. The abundance of fish, amphibians, and young birds in the swamps attracts many species of freshwater turtles and reptiles. Among them, the American alligator, Alligator mississippiensis, plays a crucial role. As a living icon of this ecosystem, the American alligator not only survives, but also maintains the natural balance. The flooded swamps and marl prairies are essential habitats where the American alligator thrives. Although once on the brink of extinction in the 20th century, this species was removed from the endangered species list in 1987. Thanks to active conservation efforts, the American alligator population has increased significantly, being more abundant in the Everglades than anywhere else in Florida. From once being considered a critical patient on the endangered species list, there are now over 1.25 million individuals in Florida alone. Adult male alligators can reach lengths of 13 to 15 feet, while females are smaller, reaching a maximum of 10 feet. However, in southern Florida, both sexes tend to be smaller, with a characteristically broad snout. The female alligator chooses high ground to build her nest, protecting her eggs from the floods that could destroy them in a matter of hours. The nest can be up to 3.5 feet high and is carefully guarded by the mother throughout the 58 to 63-day incubation period. In the early stages of life, the diet of an American alligator consists mainly of insects, small fish, and frogs. As they grow, alligators expand their menu. They hunt larger fish turtles, birds, and even small mammals. They often position themselves on the banks of freshwater sloughs or marl prairies, where they can remain motionless for more than 90% of the time. For larger prey, like the white-tailed deer or wild boar, the alligator uses its famous technique known as the death roll. They spin their bodies over and over, tearing apart and completely unbalancing the prey, leaving it no chance of escape. We have seen the American alligator as an apex predator, but its most crucial role is revealed when the dry season arrives. As the water levels in the swamps recede, alligators use their powerful snouts and tails to dig deep holes known as gator holes. These holes are not just a refuge for the alligator itself. When much of the Everglades dries up, they become the last oases, precious reservoirs of fresh water. Fish turtles, birds, and even mammals all come here to survive the harsh, dry season. In this way, the American alligator unwittingly becomes an ecosystem engineer. It not only hunts to survive, but it also shapes the habitat, becoming an unwilling guardian for dozens of other species. Without these engineers, life in the Everglades would struggle to survive the scorching summer months. Also, in these silent waters, the great blue heron spreads its wings like a living symbol of the Everglades ecosystem. Standing up to 4 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 7 feet, it is the largest heron in North America. The freshwater sloughs, the natural channels where water flows slowly, are its ideal hunting grounds. When the rainy season ends and the marl prairies begin to crack from lack of water, the great blue heron moves to the few remaining wetlands where it patiently waits for its prey. Under the brilliant Everglades sun, the great blue heron stands tall like a motionless statue in the shallow water. Its long legs and waterproof plumage allow it to move easily through the freshwater sloughs and marl prairies without disturbing the environment. When a prey, be it a fish, an amphibian, or even a small mammal glides by the great blue heron, reacts with a lightning-fast movement, launching its long neck and sharp bill into the water. It can catch its prey in just 1/10 of a second from detection, thanks to its extremely fast reflexes and absolute concentration. Thanks to this precise skill, the success rate of the great blue heron in the freshwater sloughs is between 60 and 70%, according to a 2023 report. Besides its role as a formidable predator, the great blue heron also plays an important part in maintaining ecological balance. By feeding on fish and amphibians, this species helps to control the populations of its prey, preventing an overabundance that could alter the dynamics of the ecosystem. Amidst the arid lands of the Everglades, the Pinelands ecosystem emerges as a vibrant tableau. Although it occupies only 2% of the park's area, this ecosystem is one of the most important, protecting a unique biodiversity. The exposed limestone bedrock and extremely thin soil make the Pinelands a real challenge for life. However, the South Florida/pines rise strongly from the cracks in the rock where water and soil accumulate in small pockets. Amidst the dense pine forests and the arid, rocky terrain of the Pinelands ecosystem in the Everglades, the Florida panther moves with an agile body and a sharp gaze. This cat is one of the top predators in Florida and a unique subspecies of the cougar. The tall pines and the open spaces between them provide ideal hunting grounds where prey is abundant and easily accessible. However, not all areas of the Everglades are suitable for this species. As most of the park is covered by wetlands, the Florida panther population is reduced and mostly confined to higher areas like the Pinelands. The Florida panther is currently on the endangered species list with an estimated population of only 120 to 230 individuals, primarily living in southern Florida. Previously, this species was distributed throughout the southeastern United States, but its current range occupies less than 5% of its original territory. Its primary prey is the white-tailed deer, which makes up 70 to 90% of its diet, thanks to the abundance of this species in the region. With silent steps and lightning speed, the panther approaches its target stealthily and takes it down with powerful pounces and a fatal bite. In the Pinelands of the Everglades pineland ecosystem, the presence of the white-tailed deer dictates the rhythm of the entire ecosystem's balance. With over 30 million individuals distributed across the United States, this deer is an important part of the Everglades ecological picture. The white-tailed deer makes up 70 to 90% of the Florida panther's diet, playing a fundamental role in the food chain. A white-tailed deer consumes from 5 to 7 pounds of food per day. Its diet varies with the seasons, consisting mainly of shrubs, leaves, acorns, and sometimes grass. The white-tailed deer has a flexible social structure that changes with the seasons. During the rut, which typically occurs from October to December, males and females live separately and only meet to mate. After the breeding season, males are often solitary or in small groups, while females form groups of 3 to 5 individuals with their young. During the rut, males compete fiercely for the right to breed. Females tend to choose the strongest males with the largest antlers as mates. Antlers are not just an indicator of good health, but also of competitive ability. This process ensures a stronger next generation and a genetically healthy population in the long run. The dense pine forests of the Pinelands stretch across the Everglades. From a distance, a steady tapping sound echoes like the heartbeat of the forest. This is not just a refuge, but also a hunting ground for woodpecker species of the family Picidae. In the Pinelands, the straight, rough trunks of the pine trees become homes and a source of food for woodpeckers. The red cockaded woodpecker, with its distinctive plumage, forages by drilling into the bark, creating crevices where insects hide. The pileated woodpecker, the largest woodpecker in the region, carves deep holes in the tree trunks, leaving behind unmistakable marks. Meanwhile, the red-bellied woodpecker moves nimbly among the thinner branches, searching for food among the leaves. The Pinelands ecosystem provides not only food, but also essential spaces for woodpeckers to build their nests. The cavities they excavate are not just their breeding grounds, but also become shelters for other animal species. Under the clear skies of the Everglades, the northern mockingbird stands out with its elegant and vibrant appearance. Its silver-gray plumage allows it to blend into the arid landscape of the Pinelands, but whenever it takes flight, its distinctive white wing patches shine brightly. With a wingspan of 12 to 15 inches and a weight of about 1.5 to 2 ounces, this bird has a small but extremely agile body. In the harsh environment of the Pinelands, where sparse vegetation and limestone dominate the ground, the northern mockingbird finds its sustenance through a varied diet. The small insects hidden under the bark and the berries hanging among the branches are its source of energy to survive the harshest dry seasons. The northern mockingbird is known for its incredible ability to mimic the songs of other birds and the sounds of its environment, including car alarms or mobile phone ringtones. It is believed that this ability plays a fundamental role in establishing and defending territory, as well as in attracting mates. Males, which can mimic a greater variety of sounds, are often more successful in both defending their territory and attracting females. The mechanism behind this ability is based on the mockingbird's capacity to learn and remember sounds over long periods. Some individuals can mimic up to 200 different sounds, including the songs of at least 35 different species. Beneath the canopy of the pine trees, the common starling often appears like a vibrant flash of light. With its glossy black plumage that shimmers with purple and blue hues in the sunlight, this bird sparkles like a precious gem in nature. The common starling is typically an omnivore. From insects and small invertebrates to young mammals and the nestlings of other species, the starling takes advantage of any available prey. It often forages on the ground, especially in areas with sparse vegetation or open grasslands, where access to resources is easier. This species is known for its competitive behavior, especially during the breeding season. They can put pressure on smaller bird species by taking over their nests and eating their eggs. Also, in the Pinelands ecosystem of the Everglades, the loggerhead shrike stands out as a small but skilled predator. With its strong hooked beak, this bird not only hunts insects and small birds, but also small mammals like mice. What is most characteristic is that the loggerhead shrike uses thorns or sharp twigs to impale its prey, creating a unique image reminiscent of natural coat hooks. In the vast expanse of the Everglades, where water flows slowly through endless swamps, the tropical hardwood hammocks appear as unique ecological islands. Only 1 to 3 feet above sea level, these dry lands are steadfast points amidst a sea of grass and seasonal water. Thanks to this elevation, they escape the prolonged floods, creating an ideal refuge for many unique species of flora and fauna. Beneath the canopy is another world. Dense shrubs and impenetrable thickets create a perfect sanctuary for the Florida black bear, the white-tailed deer, and especially the Florida panther. These animals find a sanctuary in the hammocks during the dry season, where water is scarce but shade is plentiful. Seen from the sky, these hammocks look like teardrops scattered amidst the slow flow of water, preserving life amidst the wild nature of the Everglades. Perhaps they are the tears of creation shed to preserve life in this landscape which, though seemingly desolate, is full of hope. Under the shade of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the Florida black bear finds refuge and an abundant source of food. This is a unique subspecies of the American black bear, with an estimated population of about 4,000 individuals in Florida in 2023. Only a small fraction of these live in the Everglades. These dense tropical forests provide not only safe havens, but also important mating grounds. The vegetation of the tropical hardwood hammocks provides an abundant food source with broadleaf species like mahogany and southern live oak, creating a rich and stable environment year-round for the Florida black bear. In spring and summer, they search for insects and feed on succulent plants. When autumn arrives, their diet shifts to fruits and nuts, especially from the sable palm and wild olive. Thanks to its omnivorous diet, the Florida black bear plays an essential role in preserving plant diversity. In the ecosystem of the tropical hardwood hammocks, as it moves far from the parent plant, the bear disperses the seeds of more than 20 different species through its scat, thereby promoting the regeneration of the forest. Only in the tropical hardwood hammocks, the gray fox moves through the Everglades with remarkable agility and adaptability. It is the only canid whose natural range includes both North and South America. The gray fox possesses a compact and flexible body, 31 to 44 inches long, including the tail, and weighing 8 to 15 pounds, allowing it to move easily through the dense forests. Its gray coat provides excellent camouflage in the low-light environment where the sun's rays barely penetrate the canopy. As an omnivore, the gray fox consumes a wide variety of food, including insects, small mammals like mice and squirrels, bird eggs, fruits, and edible tropical plants. In the summer, about 40% of its diet consists of insects and small mammals. Conversely, in the fall and winter, fruits and nuts make up to 60% of its food intake. One of the most remarkable features of the gray fox is its impressive tree climbing ability. Unlike most other canids, it can climb tree branches to escape larger predators like the Florida panther or the red wolf. This skill also allows it to access food sources high above, such as fruits and insects, giving it a significant advantage to survive and thrive in the challenging environment of the Everglades. From late winter to midsummer, the northern cardinal chooses the low bushes in the tropical hardwood hammocks to build its nest in safe places. The northern cardinal has entered its breeding season. The dense layers of canopy in these hammocks provide a perfect refuge, helping them protect their eggs and young from predators and harsh weather conditions. Under the shade of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the northern cardinal shines with its brilliant red plumage. The male, with its distinctive crest and a black mask around its bill, is 8 to 9 inches long and weighs 1.5 to 1.7 ounces. The female, in contrast, has a paler reddish-brown plumage, but with hints of red on her wings, tail and crest, giving her a subtle elegance. The northern cardinal is not only beautiful, but is also known for its powerful song, especially in the dense forests. As an omnivorous bird, the northern cardinal's diet includes seeds, fruits, and insects. About 70% of its diet consists of seeds and fruits, especially berries. During the breeding season, the northern cardinal increases its consumption of insects to ensure an adequate source of protein to feed its young. During that time, insects make up to 40% of its diet. Thanks to this behavior, the northern cardinal contributed to a 20% reduction in harmful insect populations in 2024, thereby helping to protect the vegetation and maintain the stability of the ecosystem. The dense forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks also provide shelter and ideal nesting sites for the southern bald eagle. In the dense forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the southern bald eagle often builds its nest in tall, sturdy trees like oaks and palms. The nests are impressive structures that can weigh hundreds of pounds and are reused for many years, becoming a symbol of resilience in the wild. In the tropical forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks, where lagoons, swamps and streams are interspersed, the southern bald eagle finds the perfect environment for hunting. It is a large bird of prey with a wingspan of 6 to 7.5 feet and a weight of 8 to 14 pounds. As a sea eagle, its diet is primarily based on fish, which makes up 60 to 90% of its food intake. Besides fish, it also hunts birds and small mammals and sometimes does not hesitate to eat carrion. In the darkness of the tropical hardwood hammocks at night, the unmistakable hoot of the barred owl rings out. It is a distinctive sound that many remember as "Who cooks for you, who cooks for you all?" Its call can be heard up to half a mile through the dense forest, marking its territory and serving as a means of communication with its mate. The barred owl is a nocturnal predator with large eyes that allow it to see clearly in the darkness under the dense canopy. Its silent flight combined with its exceptional vision allows it to hunt without being detected. As we venture deeper into the Cypress dome ecosystem, the landscape of the Everglades unfolds like a masterpiece of nature, with cypress forests stretching as far as the eye can see. This is one of the most important wetlands in the region, where the calm, stable water allows the cypress trees to thrive. The dome cypresses grow in clusters, with the tallest trees in the center and smaller ones towards the edges, creating a characteristic dome shape. The tall cypress trees are also nesting sites for many bird species, forming a vibrant ecosystem. At their base, mammals find safe shelter, completing a picture of biodiversity where every creature contributes to the balance of the natural environment. Amidst the vast swamps and slow-moving streams of the Cypress dome ecosystem in the Everglades, the river otter finds its ideal home. In this environment, the calm waters and dense vegetation form a network of wetlands where these otters can easily hide and hunt without being seen. Under the water's surface, they glide through narrow channels and flooded grasslands in search of food, mainly fish and other aquatic species. River otters are not just solitary creatures. They also form small groups of 2 to 5 individuals cooperating closely in hunting and sharing territory. They often live in family groups consisting of a mother and her young. Using burrows, they dig themselves or take over from other species for shelter. As a semi-aquatic species, the river otter stands out for its excellent dexterity when hunting underwater. Thanks to their agility and flexibility, they pursue fish, crustaceans, and sometimes amphibians. Their whiskers are very sensitive, allowing them to detect movements in the water even when visibility is limited. Although they often hunt alone, they can also cooperate in groups, increasing their success rate by 20%, especially in deeper waters. The river otter plays a crucial role in the ecological balance of the Everglades Cypress dome ecosystem. According to a 2024 study, otters can reduce the population of small predatory fish in the wetlands by up to 30%, which lessens the pressure on larger fish species. Otters also compete for resources with other large predators like alligators, making them an important component in maintaining the delicate balance of the Cypress dome ecosystem. In the tranquility of the Cypress dome ecosystem, the anhinga perches on a branch or rock with its wings spread wide, drying its feathers and regulating its body temperature. With a body that can be up to 35 inches long and a weight of about 2.6 pounds, the anhinga is capable of diving deep to catch fish and other aquatic animals. However, after these dives, its feathers become waterlogged, making it heavier and limiting its ability to fly. Its ability to fly is highly dependent on sunning, which allows it to dry its feathers quickly, especially in the hot and humid climate of the Everglades. The anhinga is a specialized aquatic predator recognized by its long, sharp bill that allows it to spear and catch fish with high precision. Fish make up to 90% of its diet, according to a 2024 study, while the rest consists of amphibians and small crustaceans. Thanks to its webbed feet, the anhinga swims with agility, gliding underwater like a silent spear, using the shadows to approach its prey without being detected. Through its underwater hunting style, the anhinga plays an essential role in regulating fish populations, helping to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. A 2024 study showed that the anhinga can consume up to 50% of the small fish in some freshwater areas of the Everglades, thereby contributing to the ecological stability of the environment. Along the coast of southern Florida, the majestic aerial roots of the red mangrove rise like natural ramparts, blocking the assault of waves and storms. Where the land meets the sea, the mangrove forest stretches out, embracing the coast. This system not only acts as a shield, but also as a natural nursery. In these nutrient-rich brackish waters, the red mangrove with its prominent roots helps to stabilize the soil and prevent coastal erosion. The black mangrove and the white mangrove form different forest layers, each playing an essential role in maintaining the ecosystem. This is also a vibrant territory teeming with biodiversity. Birds, fish and crustaceans gather here, with over 220 species of fish surviving in this unique brackish water environment. The shallow, nutrient-rich waters under the mangrove canopy provide an ideal place for breeding, protecting the young from predatory threats. The delicate balance of the food chain is maintained by these fish species. They act as a food source for birds and mammals, while also regulating the populations of crustaceans and amphibians. Each morning, as the sun illuminates the mangrove, forests, flocks of wading birds spread their wings and fly across the sky, creating scenes full of life. The brackish water ecosystem of the mangrove forest provides them not only with shelter, but also an abundant source of food. Among these birds, the brown pelican stands out with a wide wingspan of 7 to 8 feet and a unique hunting technique. With an average weight of 7 to 11 pounds, it is one of the iconic species of the coastal and mangrove regions. The brown pelican uses a gular pouch under its bill to catch fish, achieving a success rate of up to 60%, especially during seasons with abundant food. In the past, this species was on the brink of extinction due to the use of the pesticide DDT. Thanks to conservation efforts, their numbers have significantly recovered. Another wading bird that stands out in the mangrove ecosystem is the American white ibis, often seen wading in the shallow waters. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the ibis was the embodiment of the god Thoth, the deity of wisdom and knowledge. Its long, thin, downward curving bill allows it to search for crustaceans hidden under the mud. Unlike many other wading birds, the white ibis feeds primarily on crabs and shrimp. This dietary preference allows it to control the populations of crustaceans, helping to maintain the ecological balance of the mangrove ecosystem. In the mangrove ecosystem of the Everglades, the great egret also stands out as one of the most majestic wading birds due to its elegance and large size. At over 4 feet tall with a wingspan of up to 5 feet, it is one of the largest water birds, second only to the great blue heron. This species employs a unique hunting technique. It walks slowly or stands still, patiently waiting until a fish frog or large insect passes by. With a lightning-fast reflex, in just a few milliseconds, it launches its sharp bill to catch its prey. This skill makes the great egret one of the most effective predators in the mangrove ecosystem. The mangrove ecosystem is now a refuge and feeding ground for one of the rarest and most vulnerable aquatic mammals, the West Indian manatee. This species is particularly vulnerable to boat propellers due to its limited ability to detect low-frequency sounds. Weighing up to 1,200 pounds, these gentle giants spend about 8 hours a day grazing on seagrass and other aquatic vegetation. Their slow and continuous movement contributes to the balance of the ecosystem, consuming up to 100 pounds of vegetation per day. At the intersection of land and sea in the Everglades, the coastal lowlands emerge where natural elements blend perfectly. Here there is no clear boundary between fresh and salt water. Each rainy season brings a flow of fresh water from the north, flooding the swamps and arid lands. The coastal lowlands are a diverse, harsh, yet essential ecosystem. They form a natural rampart, protecting the Everglades from storms. Everything seems to work as if an invisible hand of creation is guiding and arranging every detail with a deep and wonderful wisdom. As is royal custom, lions rarely deign to hunt such small prey. But today, hunger has rewritten the rules. When the belly is empty, pride must be set aside. The baboon's arrogance dissolves as it realizes the predator's terrifying persistence. The baboon faces a grim choice. The father baboon accepts sacrifice. A life for a life. He lures the ravenous predators far from his child, hidden high in the trees. The survivor is sometimes the one who carries the most pain. This haunting memory will follow it for the rest of its days. Nature witnesses all and remains silent, like a fable told anew each day. Time passes, and the dry season's sun grows ever more fierce. This fortunate yet fragile little being must still grow up. And now it understands. Here, survival is paramount. It wants to suffer no more loss. This intelligent primate accepts a pact. A short time later, by the riverbank, an unprecedented alliance is formed between two ancestral enemies. Lion and baboon. An unwritten rule is established. The lions will not hunt the baboons, and the troop will remain silent when predators stalk. In return, the lions become the protectors for the entire baboon troop. A grim alliance is born, where the lives of other species become sacrifices for their peace. But the leopard is unaware of this agreement. As always, it awaits a moment of the lion's inattention to strike the baboon troop. The leopard's cold fangs have completed their grim task before it departs. The spine is broken. Another soul quietly exits the game of survival. Besides protection, the baboons can forage freely within the shared territory. Baboons are incredibly versatile omnivores. Their diet includes fruits, young leaves, grasses, roots, seeds, and tubers. They also do not pass up insects and small animals. This varied and opportunistic diet is one of the key factors that helps them survive and thrive in diverse environments across Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. These are not the lion's favored meals, as they are too small. News of the baboon's sacrifice spreads like wildfire. The Lion King does not see this as a mere hunt. The order for retaliation is given. This is only the beginning. Looking at the leopard now, few would believe that just hours before it exuded an air of majesty. An easy end would be too merciful. To live in perpetual shame and fear is the true sentence. High above the baboon troop, the silent audience has witnessed it all. They watch the bloody conclusion of the drama with placid observation. Besides, the baboons must also fulfill their duty to the lions. The troop, with its high vantage point, has long considered itself the guardians of the plains. They had spotted the hungry leopard lurking in the area. Even without the agreement, the leopard has always been their natural enemy. The great kudu antelopes have learned a rule of survival: trust the baboons. Their alarm calls are a guarantee of life. But these naive herbivores do not know they are entrusting their lives to one of the savanna's most duplicitous creatures. Only when the kings and queens awaken does the baboon's true nature reveal itself. The troop splits into action. A few go to alert the lion pride. The remaining baboons just watch. They know what is to come. The poor kudu antelope does not even have time to realize it has been betrayed. Have the baboons sold their conscience and ancestral instincts, honed over millions of years, for peace? At least, for themselves. Now, betrayal is sometimes the pinnacle of survival intelligence. But in this land, one's peace is often bought with another's suffering. For the cheetah, this is a time of desperation. Nature has crafted the body of the planet's fastest animal for sprinting across dry, hard terrain. A perfect hunting machine, but outdated by the climate. Hungry bellies wait in vain. The pressure of hunger and responsibility forces the mother to make a mad decision. To enter the forbidden territory. If the Lion King discovers her, the cheetah will be torn to pieces. But now, before her lies life, and the whole baboon troop. According to the agreement with the lions, the baboon's duty is not only to remain silent to ease their allies' hunt. They are also the guardians of the food stores, an ever-vigilant patrol. The cheetah is truly a fragile athlete. It always tries to avoid confrontation, but this time it must face the guards. Though humiliated, this lone mother can still retreat. But will the alliance between baboons and lions last forever? After all, it is as fragile as a thread. The air grows heavier, the dust increasing daily. This is the season of survival for many species, or a time when life fades. The buffalo herds need water in the higher lands. A short migration begins. This is the moment the lion pride has been waiting for. The pregnant lionesses are the hope of the pride, but now they seem a burden. A complete contrast to those who gave birth at the start of the dry season. They are lighter, freer, and can focus on protecting their cubs. In the turmoil, a slow, pregnant buffalo cow is left behind. Everything becomes too easy for an adult lion. Everything follows a natural order, brutal but fair and necessary. Of course, this is just the beginning. In a lion pride, the dominant males always eat first. Then come the lionesses, and finally, the young. The young also show signs of fatigue and desire. The last to eat always suffers. Typically, a lion pride is led by only 2 to 4 males. But there have been alliances of much larger numbers that shook a part of Africa. When the throne trembles, covetous eyes begin to appear. At the age of 3, young male lions face nature's harshest judgment, permanent exile. This is a cruel biological mechanism that forces them to leave their families to avoid the tragedy of inbreeding and ensure genetic diversity. Thrown into the land of death, it is in solitude that they were forged. The exiles have returned at the hottest time. The arid land welcomes the invaders. Now, the old king's mission is clear. The lionesses also join the fray, not for love of their mates. They know all too well what the first decree will be if a new king is crowned. The usurpers must kill all the old king's cubs to force the females back into estrus. The coup fails. But the price of victory is too high. The king of the plains has kept his territory, but lost his pillars. From 3 strong supports, the legacy is now held by a lone king. The invaders are driven off once more, bearing the scars of defeat. But ambition is never extinguished. Hunger is like a poison. It has the power to corrode even the most sacred oaths. This young lioness was lucky. While nursing her cubs, she barely participated in the battles of the dry season. But a crown cannot fill an empty stomach. In a delirium of energy deprivation, the line between ally and food has vanished. The panicked cries and the scent of fresh blood expose everything. High above, astonishment quickly turns to deep pain, and finally to uncontrollable rage. The ancient pact has just been broken. From this moment on, peace is dead. When the body is exhausted, no trace of royal nobility remains. Now, the lion pride is just a depleted group, victims of their own betrayal. As dawn begins to break, between 5:30 and 7 in the morning, the African savanna enters a rare, cool moment of the day. Temperatures in regions like the Serengeti or the Okavango during the dry season typically range from 57 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The air is still, the ground has not yet heated up, and the water in the waterholes remains clear. This is the characteristic time for the appearance of small and shy herbivores. They arrive early to enjoy the quiet when the predators are not yet active. This is the springbok, one of the earliest residents to visit the waterholes. They are not a species entirely dependent on surface water. Their bodies can extract moisture from young leaves and fresh grass, allowing them to survive for days without drinking. However, when the vegetation withers, they must still seek out waterholes, usually in the early morning or late afternoon. They always travel in groups. Each individual maintains a safe but close enough distance to share information. Each time they stoop to drink, it lasts only a few seconds. Then they raise their heads, ears pricked, body poised in alertness. When agitated or alarmed, a springbok can leap up to 7 to 10 feet, arching its back and erecting a crest of white fur on its rump. This behavior is called pronking, a message to predators. I have seen you. To its own kind, it is a way to communicate emotion, warning, or attraction. A movement that is both social and biological. In contrast to the large antelope species that often approach with caution, The helmeted guinea fowl arrives with characteristic clamor. Each flock typically consists of 10 to 25 individuals, functioning as a cohesive social unit, constantly emitting loud calls to maintain contact and warn of danger. This noise sometimes helps other herbivores like impala or wildebeest to detect the presence of predators early. Their alarm calls can travel up to 164 yards across open terrain. The helmeted guinea fowl needs to drink water daily, a trait that makes them particularly dependent on water holes during the dry season. They have a distinctive appearance. Their average length is from 21 to 23 inches, weighing about 2.9 to 3.5 pounds. The body is covered in dark grey or black feathers with countless round white spots. The head is featherless, with pale blue skin, highlighted by a horny casque that juts out like a helmet. Although they have wings, they prefer to run to escape danger. Their speed can reach up to 22 miles per hour, combined with an ability to change direction quickly. They are widely distributed throughout southern Africa and are one of the most numerous native birds on the continent, with an estimated 28 to 30 million individuals in the wild. At midday on the African savanna, as the sun beats down, the giraffes begin to calmly approach the water holes. Unlike many other herbivores, they typically drink from midday to late afternoon. This is a strategic choice. The predation rate around waterholes decreases at noon, when lions, leopards, and hyenas usually retreat to the shade to rest. With their superior height, giraffes can easily spot threats from afar, but they are extremely vulnerable when drinking. Their necks are about 6.6 to 7.9 feet long, more than 20 times longer than a human's, but also have only 7 cervical vertebrae, like most mammals. When they lower their heads, without a special blood pressure regulation mechanism, blood would rush to the brain too quickly. To adapt, a giraffe's heart weighs about 24 pounds, operating at twice the pressure of a human's to pump blood up to the brain. A system of venous valves and a special capillary network around the brain helps control blood flow when they bend down, preventing cerebral hemorrhage or dizziness. They do not keep their heads down for too long. Each sip of water lasts only a few seconds, followed by a lift of the head to scan the surroundings. Beneath the placid surface of the water may lurk unexpected predators, Nile crocodiles. As the sun climbs higher and temperatures quickly surpass 86 degrees Fahrenheit, the waterholes lose their morning tranquility. The muddy bottom is stirred up by dozens of herds of zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo, turning the water's surface into a murky mixture. In long-established waterholes, particularly in the Okavango or southern Botswana, the presence of Nile crocodiles is frequently recorded. This predator possesses an almost perfect ambush skill. The Nile crocodile does not hunt hastily. Instead of pursuing, it conserves energy by camouflaging itself. At over 16 feet long, weighing more than 1,500 pounds, and with a bite that snaps shut at nearly 40 feet per second, it can drag a full-grown zebra into the water in mere moments. As a poikilothermic animal, the Nile crocodile depends entirely on the ambient temperature to regulate its body heat. When the water temperature exceeds 93 degrees Fahrenheit, it will come ashore and open its mouth. This is not a threatening gesture, but a cooling mechanism called gaping. However, this delicate balance is sometimes shattered when the waterhole becomes too small. Conflict is inevitable. The hippopotamus charges like a living tank. The attack misses, but it is enough to make the crocodile retreat. As the dry season persists, hippopotamus herds head towards the remaining waterholes. This is not just a place to quench thirst, but a sanctuary, a vital space in a water-scarce world. In the scorching midday heat, they submerge themselves completely in water to keep their body temperature stable at around 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Each adult hippopotamus can weigh over 3,300 pounds, but that does not mean they are slow in the water. Although they cannot swim, they move efficiently by walking on the bottom, using the power of their legs to propel their bodies through the mud. But as the water recedes, the distance between individuals shortens, and tensions begin to rise. Adult males, highly territorial, begin to display dominance with powerful shoves or bloody confrontations. In this confined space, a simple act of gaping can be a declaration of war. They also have a very peculiar way of marking territory with their dung. They stand at the edge and wag their tails vigorously while defecating, flinging feces in all directions. Spotted hyenas, often dismissed as mere scavengers, but research shows that 70 to 95% of their diet comes from active hunting. Unlike the great cats, spotted hyenas are masters of endurance. They can pursue prey at 37 miles per hour for several miles, a grueling race of attrition until the quarry collapses from exhaustion. With a bite force of up to 1,000 pounds per square inch, the strongest among mammals, the spotted hyena can easily crush even the thickest bones. They live in large clans, which can number up to 80 individuals, led by a matriarch. This matriarchal hierarchy is complex and strict. When they have the numerical advantage, they do not hesitate to attack or steal prey from other predators, including lions. Ecologically, spotted hyenas control herbivore populations, clean up carcasses, and reduce the risk of disease transmission. In an ecosystem where lions dominate by strength and leopards by stealth, the spotted hyena triumphs through unity and versatility. Ecologists have noted that vultures often circle at altitudes of 1,600 to 3,300 feet around waterholes during the dry season. This is a time when the mortality rate of animals increases due to exhaustion, malnutrition, or injury. From on high, with vision 3 to 4 times better than a human's, they can spot a carcass from a great distance. Unlike New World vultures that navigate by smell, the species here rely entirely on sight. When one individual begins its descent, others miles away immediately recognize the signal and join in. Their featherless heads and necks allow them to reach deep inside a carcass without getting soiled. A strong, hooked beak helps to tear through thick hides. Their immune system is a biological masterpiece. Stomach acid with a pH close to 1 is capable of destroying deadly bacteria. The Serengeti, the genesis of the Great Migration, one of the 7 natural wonders of Africa. From swift predators to resilient prey, each creature is a vital brushstroke in nature's living masterpiece. The thunder of hooves echoes across the plains, driving both prey and predator into an unrelenting struggle for survival. Leopards wait with precise patience, hauling their prey high into the branches, keeping their hard-won prize beyond the reach of lions and hyenas. On another battlefield, cheetahs explode into motion, streaking across the grasslands like arrows loosed at the perfect moment. Speed may win them the chase, but their victory hangs by a slender thread. A kill made by a cheetah may not be theirs for long. Meanwhile, lions seize the chaos, tightening the noose on scattered prey. Herds of wildebeest and zebra are driven into narrow corridors of grass, where all escape routes vanish. A chase erupts. Only the strong survive, the weak are left behind. Beneath the waters of the Mara River, motionless shadows are waiting. The Nile crocodiles lie still, biding their time until the mass crossing unleashes a frenzy that will feed them for days. Every leap from the water becomes a fight for life. Every desperate escape brings them one step closer to survival. From November to May, the rains return, reviving the entire ecosystem. But climate change disrupts this rhythm. Food becomes scarce and unpredictable, forcing the herbivores to travel farther in search of water and nutrition. When the dry season returns, daytime temperatures soar above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and the water sources disappear. Giraffes turn to the high canopy of acacia trees, using their nearly 18-inch-long tongues to strip the leaves. Herds of African buffalo form vast grazing lines. Each adult consumes up to 77 pounds of vegetation a day. But the rising heat makes every step more laborious. With an average height of 10 to 13 feet and weighing nearly 13,000 pounds, the African bush elephant is the largest land animal on Earth. They are one of the most essential guardians of this ecosystem. The herds change their routes with the seasons to find food and water. Their enormous ears act as natural radiators, releasing excess heat through a sophisticated network of blood vessels on the surface. During harsh droughts, they use their trunks to dig deep into the earth, creating temporary water holes that sustain countless other species. An adult elephant consumes up to 350 pounds of food per day. As they feed on shrubs and small trees, they open up new grasslands and encourage the growth of low vegetation. Even the paths that elephants create become ecological corridors, spreading plant diversity and providing shelter for smaller animals. However, in recent years, climate change has put increasing pressure on the elephant's survival strategies. Meanwhile, the African buffalo exhibits highly effective strategies for adaptation and survival. In a world dominated by tooth and claw, these adults, weighing from 1,100 to 2,000 pounds, stand like armored giants. Their curved horns merge into a solid shield on their foreheads. This is a battle helmet crafted to withstand brutal clashes and repel enemies. The herds are organized into groups of 50 to over 1,000 individuals, with the adult males on the front lines, while the young and females are protected in the center. Like a mobile fortress, every position is deliberate, a formation sculpted by centuries of bloodshed and instinct. Adult buffalo are rarely taken down thanks to their size and collective defense tactics, but calves under a year-old remain a primary target for hyenas and lions. Under the sweltering heat of the savanna, the predators strike. This is not merely a hunt, it is the signing of an ancient, brutal contract. The lion pride acts as the agent of natural law, testing the buffalo's wall of horns, searching for a single crack in their unity. By removing the weak, the old, the stragglers, the lion ensures that the buffalo herd as a whole remains strong. It is a balance sculpted from violence, a covenant where the price of the herd's strength is the sacrifice of the few. Amidst this wild landscape, the spotted hyena emerges as a master of survival. Fearsome, misunderstood, and unstoppable. With an evolutionary history stretching back more than 22 million years, the spotted hyena has survived through geological epochs thanks to its powerful jaws, cohesive clan society, and flexible hunting strategies. Each clan can have up to 80 individuals. The females hold the dominant position, organizing and directing the group in both hunting and territorial defense. This group strategy significantly increases their success rate when targeting large prey or competing for carcasses with other predators. Spotted hyenas can sprint up to about 35 miles per hour over short distances. Once they have decided to pursue, only one truth remains on these plains: run or be caught. Their laughter echoes across the plains, a chilling signature of the clan. With a bite force nearly double that of a male lion, they easily crush bone, extracting maximum nutrition from a carcass. Hyenas are not just predators. They are living machines built to decompose carcasses, the recycling engineers of the ecosystem. With an estimated population of about 3,000 individuals, the Serengeti is now one of the most densely populated lion areas on the planet. Here, these apex predators have shaped the rhythm of life through generations over more than 2 million years of evolution. The East African male lion is of considerable size, capable of weighing up to 500 pounds. Its iconic thick mane acts as a shield, protecting its neck and head during fights. The lionesses are lighter, but they are the backbone of most hunting efforts. The lionesses are the spearhead, agile, silent, and ruthless. To maintain their powerful bodies, lions need to consume an average of 10 to 15 pounds of meat per day. Lionesses prefer to hunt by stalking in silence, using low vegetation and the twilight hours to increase their chances of success. Speed is not the lion's advantage. Instead, powerful hind limbs, great attacking force, and a deep jaw allow the pride to take down large prey like zebra, wildebeest, and even adult African buffalo. In the pride structure, the females undertake the primary hunting duties. The males typically join in only when the prey is large or when there is competition from other species. However, even with such biological advantages, lions face fierce competition from other predators, especially the spotted hyena. Direct conflicts between lions and hyenas occur in about 38% of large hunts. On the Serengeti, supremacy is never given, it can only be won through battle. Today, the East African lion is listed as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to habitat loss and human conflict. The decline in lion numbers threatens not only the species itself, but the entire structure of the Serengeti ecosystem.